at peace, stress free, let it be.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name's Ashley, and today I wanted to talk about my hypnotherapy experience. I went to hypnotherapy for my eating disorder, which is called Avoidant Restrictive Food Intake Disorder. If you want to know some more about that, I have a video right here and also linked down below and at the end of this video that you can check out if you want to learn some more about that. But today I thought that I would talk about my experience with hypnotherapy that I had while I was trying to overcome and get help with my eating disorder. So as I mentioned in the video where I talked about my eating disorder, if you saw that video, ARFID, or Avoidant Restrictive Food Intake Disorder, is a relatively new eating disorder. It was a new addition to the DSM-5, so just not a lot of people know about it. And because of that, it's kind of hard to find help with it. I actually didn't even know about ARFID until recently when I kind of did my own research. I was googling like panic attacks when I eat vegetables and stuff like that. Before doing my own research, I had actually gone to a few therapists, not specifically for this issue, but this issue did come up, and I would kind of explain it to them. I did explain it to them, and pretty much everybody was just like, oh, you're a picky eater, and that's it. Some people were really mean about it. They said that I was like faking it for attention and that I was being like over dramatic and to just eat the food like normal. Like they couldn't understand why I wouldn't eat it like a normal person, and that was like really discouraging. That turned me off a lot from regular therapy, which is why once I did find out about ARFID, I decided I did not want to go to a regular therapist. My options were going to be a hypnotherapist, a like behavioral therapist, or like a nutritionist, but I don't think a nutritionist would know too much about like the mental aspect of eating disorders. I decided on hypnotherapy because I just didn't do my research into hypnotherapy, and I had a friend who was going to hypnotherapy for something unrelated to eating disorders, but she said that it was working really well for her, and I was like, oh, that's so awesome. I totally want to try that too, because it could work really well for me, you know? I guess I didn't do enough research about hypnotherapy, or really any research about hypnotherapy, because what I thought it was like you go in, they hypnotize you somehow, and in like 1 or 2 sessions something clicks in your brain and you're good to go. It's fine. Because that's what you see in movies when people get like hypnotized, right? Like you snap your fingers and you're clucking like a chicken. I don't know. So I thought like, oh, like they would do something and then like they snap their fingers and then something clicked in my brain and I could just eat food like a normal person. That's what I was hoping. That I really wanted it to be that easy. So because of that, I just want to say, if you're looking into any kind of like therapy or anything, do some research, talk to other people who have gone through that kind of therapy, and actually call the therapist and ask kind of like what their methods are, because not everybody's techniques are going to work for you or be what you're looking for. I could have saved a lot of money if I had just called and asked how she would do it. Whatever. When I finally decided on hypnotherapy, I was doing some research about hypnotherapists in my area, and I was looking at their websites, and some of them kind of sounded like BS. Like, I don't know, there was one saying like they could cure cancer with hypnotherapy. I don't know. If somebody's saying that, I don't really trust them, because I don't know. I mean, I don't know how cancer works, but I don't know. Again, at this point I was thinking that hypnotherapy was like you snap your fingers and you're good. So I was like, if it was that easy to get rid of cancer, I don't think like we would have as big of a problem as we do. So I definitely avoided those ones, but I found one who actually specialized in eating disorders. So I emailed her and I was like, hey, this is the eating disorder that I have, would you be able to help me? And I kind of explained a little bit about it. I was like, it's totally fine if you don't know that much about it. She was actually a co-author on the DSM-3, so I was like, oh, she probably knows a lot of stuff, you know? And she emailed me back and she was just like, yeah, I can totally help you. Like, whenever you want to make your first appointment, just let me know, come on in. So I made my first appointment. Obviously it's hypnotherapy, it's not actual therapy, so it wasn't covered by insurance, so I paid out of my own like pocket, Venmo, cash, you know, which was totally fine, because honestly I just want to eat like a normal person. So I was like, whatever it costs, I will do it. I just want to be able to eat normally. So it was about $300 a session for a 1-hour session, and she requests that you do 5 sessions just to get like a full trial of it, to like see if it works, you know, like give it a real chance, not just like one and done. I was totally fine with that. I was down with that, you know. So I went for my first session and we started out talking. I think we spent probably about half an hour just talking about me and what I do and what I want to do in the future, and talking about like how the eating disorder started when I started noticing I had a problem, and just sort of like how it like manifests for me. So like reactions that I have to foods and what foods I have reactions to. And she tried to dig a little bit deeper, like why do I think I'm having these reactions? And obviously I didn't know, because I feel like if I knew why, I would be able to fix it, do you know what I mean? But yeah, she tried digging into all of that. And she also went into like my past a little bit, like what was it like growing up, what were my parents like, what was my family like, did I have any like traumas, anything like that, because that could possibly be affecting my eating disorder. So we went over all of that for like the first half an hour, and then the second half an hour was like the hypnosis part of it. So I laid on the couch, I got these like glasses that had these like red flashing lights on them, and I just closed my eyes, and then I put like these headphones in, and I had this like nice relaxing like wave music, and then she recorded herself hypnotizing me, I suppose. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep. I don't think I got hypnotized. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep, but I don't know for sure, but I definitely felt like I fell asleep. One thing that was really great was she actually recorded it and then emailed it to me after, so that I could listen to it like while I was sleeping, and just, you know, anytime that I wanted to just take half an hour or even 15 minutes and only listen to part of it and just like relax. So in that, I can't remember exactly what she said. I haven't listened to them for a while, but I think she was saying something like that, like food is my friend and like vegetables are my friends. And I don't know, we kind of came to the conclusion that like if I humanize food and I think that it has feelings, then I will feel bad for not eating it, we thought. So that was kind of what like the hypnosis was about, was like getting that into my brain, that like, oh, the people who grew the food put so much work into it and they're gonna be so sad if I don't eat it, and like the vegetables like took all this strength to be created for me, and like I'm gonna hurt their feelings if I don't eat them, and all that kind of stuff, which I honestly thought would work, because I don't know, it just sounds like something that would work on me. She gave me some exercises to do like at home, so like while I'm eating, not watching TV or being on my phone, just like focusing on the food that I'm eating, which I think would be the opposite of what I need. I want to be like distracted from my food, you know? But yeah, so we did that for 5 sessions. By I think the 3rd session, the hypnosis turned into more of like a past life regression, which on her website it did say she specialized in that as well. I thought that that was cool, you know, like past life regression. I wasn't entirely sure what it had to do with my eating disorder, but I was like down to try it. So I would put the glasses on, I would lay down, and she would ask me to like visualize these doors and go into one of the doors and like look at where I'm standing and what like century does it look like, and like where am I, what am I wearing, what's my gender, what's my age, what's happening around me, and then I jump to another part in that person's life and like what's happening now, blah blah blah. And that was basically supposed to get to the root of like why I have an eating disorder, I guess. So we kind of came to the conclusion that in all of my past lives that I saw, I don't actually know if I saw them or made them up. I'm really not sure, but some like story was coming to me while I was doing it. I didn't feel like I was making it up, like I could actually visualize it, but I really have no idea. But we kind of came to the conclusion that I was very out of control of my life, like other people were controlling my life, and that translated into my life now that I have. And basically I like to have control over things, like kind of like OCD or like oppositional defiant disorder, one of those, and that kind of manifests into me needing control over my food. But what that didn't really explain is like why I have panic attacks when I eat certain foods. I don't really know. That was never really explained to me now that I think about it. Or why I thought that like broccoli was gonna kill me. I don't know why I think that, but like in my brain when I'm about to eat it, like that's what my brain is telling me, like, oh, don't eat this, you're gonna die if you eat this. I don't know. That wasn't explained to me either, really, now that I think about it. Anyway, yeah, but that was kind of just my hypnotherapy experience. Did I actually get hypnotized? It's possible. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, because I mean I've never really been hypnotized, so I don't know. Maybe I was hypnotized. Did I have a past life regression? Well, like 3 of them? Possibly. Again, I don't know if I was just making all that stuff up or what. Was my eating disorder cured or like solved or made better in any way? Not really. To be honest. After the 5 sessions I stopped going because I realized that it wasn't really working. The most progress I made was I ate shredded up carrots in a bowl of teriyaki noodles covered in teriyaki sauce. And even that was really like panicky for me, but I ate it for the most part. So I wouldn't really say that it helped. Sitting there saying that like the vegetables were like grown for me and I'm gonna make somebody sad surprisingly didn't really help. One thing that kind of did help was sitting there looking at the food and just constantly telling myself that it's not gonna kill me, it's okay to eat, like the worst that's gonna happen is I don't like it, and then, you know, that's fine, but at least I tried it. So I just had to sit there for like 30 minutes before I tried something new and tell myself that it wasn't gonna kill me. And that actually worked. When I went to Japan, I tried bean sprouts. I was able to eat them because I did that, because I sat there and convinced myself that it was not going to kill me. It didn't kill me. I'm here. I ate them. But overall, I don't think hypnotherapy worked, especially because it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. It has been about a year since I've stopped going to hypnotherapy, and I've tried a few new foods in that time, but I don't really contribute that progress to the hypnotherapy. I don't think that they're associated. Maybe they are somewhere deep in my brain, like subconsciously, but like on the conscious surface, I don't see that being a connection. As for the oppositional defiance disorder, it's entirely possible. I really don't like being told what to do, or like being out of control of the things that I'm doing, and that could definitely translate into an eating disorder. I could see that if somebody was forcing me to eat something or trying to get me to eat something that I didn't want to eat. But when I'm trying to get myself to eat something and I'm picking the foods, I don't really see how oppositional defiance disorder would translate into ARFID. Maybe it would, I just don't see that connection. I kind of felt like for me personally, the hypnotherapy was just like a scam. Not like a scam, I mean, it could definitely work for some people. I didn't think that it was targeted to my eating disorder, which is what it was kind of advertised as and what I was there for. I felt like the first 2 sessions were pretty like centered around my mental health and stuff. And then the last 3 sessions were pretty centered around past life regressions. Even in the portion where we talked before the hypnosis part, we talked about the past life regressions. And while the past life regression thing is cool, I didn't see it helping me with my eating disorder in any way. And yeah, I just felt like overall it just wasn't for me, especially because it wasn't what I initially thought it was going to be going into it. So that was just a little like summary of what my hypnotherapy experience was like when trying to overcome my eating disorder. And I wanted to share that in case people are looking for solutions for their eating disorders and hypnotherapy is an option, just so that they kind of know what it's about. At least with this one person, I'm sure other people do it differently, but with this one person, that's just kind of how it was, and that could very well be how other people's experiences might be with different hypnotherapists. Right now, currently, I'm not doing anything other than, I don't know, just like forcing myself to try new foods. I'm not doing much of anything like therapy-wise, especially because of like COVID and everything. But I think sometime in the near future, I would want to try to go see a behavioral therapist, because they're more focused on like the behavior of eating things. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm more like action oriented than like talking oriented, you know? So I think that that's going to be my next step sometime in the near future, once COVID kind of settles, and also once I find a behavioral therapist that seems like credible and that I would be comfortable with. Since making my first ARFID video, a lot of people have reached out to say that they experienced similar things, they didn't know what it was, it's nice to feel not so alone, all that kind of stuff. And also they've reached out to let me know what they're doing to help with ARFID for themselves. And a few people have been saying that they're going to therapy and all that kind of stuff, and that it's actually working for them, which is awesome. Honestly, it's just personal preference. Every single person is different. Every person's brain is gonna like take things differently and react to things differently. So I think it's really important to figure out what works for you. This was just kind of a story about my hypnotherapy experience and why I don't feel it worked for me, but it could totally work for you. So if you do more research into it and you think that it would work for you, give it a try. It can't hurt. But yeah, I just wanted to share that little story with you, because that is one of the major events since I've understood what ARFID is, and that my experience with eating and with eating disorders is ARFID. So hopefully you found this informative, hopefully you learned something, or at the very least, hopefully it was entertaining or educational in some way. I really appreciate all of the support on my first ARFID video, and I really love that people are sharing their experiences with me because it really helps to not feel so alone, like so much. So I'm really happy that people are talking about it. I'm not happy that people are going through it. It sucks, but I'm really happy that there's kind of like a community coming together under that video. I think it's so awesome. So thank you so much to everybody who has reached out. Thank you to everybody who's like commenting. I really appreciate it more than you know. Thank you so much for taking the time to let me know about your experiences and also show support for my experiences. It means the world to me, honestly. Yeah, and I hope you like this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all on Wednesday in my next video. Bye.